People. You do not need to be that loud. Alright, make sure I'm pulling up the chat. Make sure I got everybody so I can see what y'all are saying. Okie dokie, I think we're good. Now I just got to figure out where I'm going to put Cinderace exactly. So I did get Jirachi all done. Got some highlighting done. I feel like I still need to fix his eye a little bit, but that could just be me nitpicking. But I do like how it looks like Pikachu is looking up at Jirachi. So I am happy with that. But I do think, like, my original intention was to kind of have Jirachi further back a little bit, but now it looks like Jirachi's in front of this tree and Pikachu because of the way Pikachu is angled looking up at Jirachi. But that could work out because I can still put, like, the football right here. Kenny right here going to catch it. Just got to figure out, like, what part of my work am I okay covering up? Because I am going to end up covering up some of my hard work over here. I'd prefer it not to be any of the dandelions because I didn't put too many in. Maybe these white flowers right here. Maybe about that big. I'm thinking like him reaching out, running to catch the football, American football, which would put Cinderace about right here. About that big. Would have been so much easier had I sketched this out beforehand, but I don't think it would have looked like this had I sketched it out beforehand. This is one of those paintings that just needed to come to life organically as I was going through the process. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe about 3 inches tall. Right here, just to show Cinderace is bigger than Pikachu, but it's further back. I'm not actually going to draw. I'm just trying to, like, figure out the pose. Where am I seeing him exactly? Like, running up the trail, right? It kind of wraps around. That's what creates this hump up over the hill. That was the idea when I was drawing it, is like behind this hill, it's curved and then goes that way. So I want to kind of like play into that with where I'm picturing Cinderace to help with the pose. I also don't want it to be too identical to its official artwork. I mean, this is what Cinderace is known for, playing soccer in this kicking pose. And I want Cinderace kicking, but I need to make sure it's not looking like this. Let's see. So it looks like Cinderace is 3 heads tall. 3 of its heads. Right? Oh, maybe it's only like 2.5. How's it going, Elsa? Welcome, welcome. Trying to figure out Cinderace's pose in this. Yeah, Cinderace's head is huge. I did not realize how big it was. I think it's like 2.5 heads tall, if that. Maybe like 2.25. I am doing good. A little tired because we have begun packing and taking stuff down. So now the realization of us moving is really hitting because our place is starting to look empty. I've pulled down all my paintings. The walls are bare. If it's a little echoey, that's why, because canvas helps buffer the sound a little bit. And now with that gone, Eric and I have both noticed like the house is very reverberary. It echoes. I don't think that's a word. Yeah, it echoes a lot more. Let's see. Oh, Cinderace, why are you so complicated? Let's see, maybe if I had his foot turned. He kicked it? I can kind of see that. Like, boom, boom. Make it look like he's jumping. They are doing good. They know something's up. This isn't their first move with us. And I think Onyx for sure knows what's going on. I think Baxter's not 100% certain, but he doesn't like it. There's change, and so he's not happy. But just to keep like a sense of normalcy for them, we're not moving their beds. Their beds are all in the same locations. They'll be there until we get beds set up in the new place. And that way, like, they can start establishing where they want to stay in the new place. So, like, they can have their own little areas as well. And not freak out too much. Let's see, I don't know if I want him that high. I kind of want him here. They're just sleeping for right now. I actually think they're in the other room sleeping. The bedroom with my art stuff in it, that one has not been packed yet. That's the only room that still looks the same. And it's because I still have to film an intro and outro for a video. So like I'm in the middle of it and I'm like, I don't want to have continuity issues. So that's the Pokemon room with my art stuff, that's all staying the same until I finish my intro outro. And I think that's why they're just staying in there. Baxter is feeling much better. We think we pinpointed what it was, which is the Bradford pear tree in the backyard, like on the other side of the wall in the backyard, dumped a whole bunch of seeds, and we think he was eating them and it made him sick. Because now that we've been staying on top of those seeds and sweeping them up on a regular basis, we've had no more issues. And the reason we thought it was them is because he came in one day and he just like, and a bunch of seeds fell out of his mouth. And we're like, is that what you're doing? Is that why you're sick? You're eating things you shouldn't be eating? Scared us half to death because you're eating weird things in the backyard. Okay, it's the scary part. Let's see. I just kind of want to line out at first. Yeah, I've never seen an animal puke so much in my life before. That's what scared me. We thought it was something super serious. Emergency vet was just like, oh, he just probably ate something he shouldn't have. And basically had to put him on a rice and pumpkin diet for a little bit. So he's just eating rice, boiled chicken, and pumpkin. and that seemed to help his stomach. But like he was still having some issues, and that was when we saw him like cough up some of the seeds, and we're like, is this what it is? Because I was sweeping it up like maybe once a week. And I'm like, the seeds are just gonna dump into the backyard, just let them fall. But now that like we pinpointed like that's probably what it is, I've been sweeping him up every day, and nothing since. Yeah, I think I do want you right here. All right, so I want about the length right. This is going to be the leg that's going down. Do I want it bent? No, if you're kicking, I want it kind of straight. Foot. No, I mean, we're preparing for a battle with our current landlord. Uh, they're really screwing over our neighbor who moved last month. And so we're just preparing. Like, we saw the red flags. That's why we decided not to renew our lease. And we're going with a property manager who we've already had prior experiences with. So we know what to expect from her. She runs her own business now. And we're going there. We like the place. It has its pros and its cons. But the biggest one is where our rent is staying the same. Like that's a big plus, is no increases. Would have preferred it to go down, but no increases will take. And it's bigger, as well as internet is paid for, trash and water are paid for. What is the other bill? There's another bill that's paid for. The only thing we have to take care of is the power. So technically our bills are going down, so we will be saving some money. But bigger place, I can't complain. Yeah. Very mature landscaping, very dog friendly. The complex, it's a condo complex. It was made with children and dogs in mind. So all the landscaping is dog friendly, which I'm very happy about. They're sticklers for making sure you pick up after your dogs, which I always pick up after my dogs. My last apartment, we had a bunch of neighbors who wouldn't. So like that was getting annoying, and we were starting to get blamed for it. And I'm just like, first off, like what's left out there is from a dog that's at least 75 pounds. My dogs are 18 pounds. There's no way they could have left a mess that big. But we were starting to get blamed for it just because, like, well, anybody with a dog in that area is now going to get blamed. And here they have on-site security. They're just like, they stay on top of making sure that stuff is picked up. So happy about that. I don't want my dogs getting a bad rap. I make sure to pick up after them. I hope I'm not messing this up. Kind of visualizing. Putting down a bare bone skeleton before like I go any further. So if I need to erase something, I can. I think my favorite thing though is the reason we put up with a bunch of BS from our last apartment was because I was super close to a little lake, and I was able to take the dogs out by the lake all the time on our walks, and I absolutely loved it. We were really close to nature. It's probably my favorite thing. Oh, your body's about like that big. That was probably my favorite thing. And then now we're a little bit more inner city, so I don't have like I'm not that close to nature anymore. I kind of miss that. So I'm really happy that we're gonna be going like to this part of town. We're gonna be right up on the border between where the Sierra Nevada forests turn into the desert. So like we literally have forest to the west of us, and then we have the desert to the east of us. And I'm within walking distance for the Truckee River. And I could take the dogs out to the river. It's close enough that we can walk to. So I'm super excited about that. That's gonna be nice. I think that's gonna be my favorite thing about it. It's just being super close to the river. And on top of that, I do not have to worry about flooding. Like where our like here's where the condo sits. Then there's the freeway, and then there's the river. So we're pretty high up above the river, so we don't have to worry about flooding. I think the only thing we're gonna have to like just be conscious of is if there's any wildfires, because we've been having some pretty bad wildfires the last couple years. Should I have his arms down? I think I should have his arms down. I'm trying to visualize in my head like the kick in, and I feel like his arms would be down. Like about right here. And then if we ever want to go up to Lake Tahoe, I think it will be about 40 minutes shorter than where we currently are. Eric's not extending his trip to work too much. It's currently 8 minutes now to work for him. And then where we're moving, it's going to be about 14, 15 minutes. And if he doesn't want to take the freeway, he doesn't have to. There's a back way that just goes directly to his work from our new place, which is going to be nice too. Because the freeway in town lately has been absolutely crazy. You know what? I don't need to. I can try and figure this out. You got such a wonky body, Cinderace. No worries. I will be here. At least for another 2.5 hours. Okay, so let's get your booty done. I'm kind of trying to change the way you're kicking. He's got like this. It's shaped like an hourglass. feel like I should turn your arm a little bit, like... Did you dry too much? I think it may have dried too much. I will say this is like probably the best part about acrylic painting that takes a long time. The bottom layers are set. Like these are set, they are dry. And it gives me a little leeway to erase lines with some water if I'm not liking them. Let's get his legs done. I think if I get his legs done, at least kind of like mapped out pretty decently, that will help. All right, Cinderace, you've got some big feet. Wait. Should his feet be... Maybe they should be. I feel like they should be a little bit more pointed for the position I'm going for. Oh, there is a hair underneath the paint right here. There's no way of getting that one out. Well, I bet it's one of yours, Onyx. I can hide it. You know what? I'm going to make his foot follow it. And then you got little fluffy bits right here. It's kind of... Oh, you know what? I just realized I can totally get closer. I do not need to be this far away. Um, Angle that so the reflection is gone for you guys. I don't need to be blinding you with my lights. Let's see. Okay. Kick in. This is going to be in front, bent. Kind of like that. I am not making any sense. Back. I'm curving you upwards. Okay, now I'm starting to get out of this pose. Trying to turn it in my head and kind of do a little bit more of a follow through. Although I can't help but feel like this is making Cinderace look really bad at American football, which is okay because he's a European football player. I'm gonna kind of turn. You got your little fluffy bits here too. Coffee maker's reminding me that my coffee is done. do gotta make his foot look big and connected. Show that it is closer towards the viewer than his hind leg, his hind foot. I mean, here, I really emphasize how close his foot is. It's like almost the same size as his head. I don't know if I want to go that big. I do got to make this foot look like it's bigger. That looks a lot better. Not as over exaggerated as the official artwork, but it definitely is dynamic. It looks like he's at least jumping, and then once I finish, possibly kicking. But your head is just so big. I'm already like I'm trying to figure out where your head's gonna go. And it's gonna be like this tall. Cinderace has got a big head. I said I never really noticed before. Cinderace has got kind of an effeminate. Yeah, it's kind of got an effeminate silhouette. Nothing wrong with that. Just never really noticed that before. So then you should be going to about. I think I need to actually, before I start your head, make your. This needs to be the under spot of your arm. Which means the top needs to be about right here. You have got like no wrists. He's gonna have a little bit better wrists in this painting because he's gonna be playing American football. He's gonna have a little bit of a better throw, which means he's gonna have more exercise for his wrists. Bum ba-dum, bum ba-da-dum, bum 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 ba-dum. Definitely not going to be kicking this football, right? I just realized I'm putting him in a very soccer pose. Oh, well. He is a soccer Pokemon. I guess, like, maybe somewhere I could put in this a past simian. It is a football playing. Or rugby, but close enough. Can't be a highlighted Pokemon, though, because I'm trying to make sure just Kenny's favorite Pokemon are showcased. I need to practice my human poses. This would definitely help this right here. I know it's supposed to be a rabbit, but it is a humanoid rabbit. And I think if I practice my human proportions more, it would be much better. Maybe I'll do that in a video. Me just sitting down and practicing my humans. I need to make another human painting soon too. I gotta get that down. I don't do people that often, but if I can practice and get better. Oh, I almost forgot his tail. I need to see what his tail looks like. Just so I don't miss anything. Okay. Didn't even realize I was kind of copying this one. Oh, thank you, Marissa. I appreciate it. I guess I could kind of see where I might be messing up. How's it going, Creative Jargons? I hope you're having a good day. Definitely got some coverage with an electric, psychic, steel, and pure fighting type. I need to make sure your hips are a little bit wider. You know, there is supposedly an ADHD trick to help keep you productive, which is like creating pressure or stress. I don't know if you have ADHD or not, but like ADHD people work well under pressure and stress, the stress because of like that expectation that things are going to get done. I will sometimes do that to myself too because like I know I'll get stuff done if I have this pressure being applied to me. I think that's why I did so well in college when I was doing like 24 credits a semester. Yeah, staying busy keeps the thoughts at bay. Okay, so here his wrists aren't as thin as they were in the other official artwork. Cinderace, like, there's no consistency. Like, super thin wrists. It kind of looks more like a. More of like a triangle shape. But on this other one, it's more of a rectangle. Cinderace. Why is there no consistency? No, you would be on this side because you were the outside. They are doing good. They are currently sleeping. Well, they're stressed because we're getting ready to move, and so things are different. I think Onyx recognizes what's going on. I don't know if Baxter does. But the main bedroom that I record in with all my art stuff and my Pokemon stuff, that room has not changed yet because I still have to film an intro and an outro. While every other room in our house has already begun being packed. So if my video sounds a little extra echoey, that's why, because all my paintings have been taken down off the walls, and I didn't realize how much sound they were buffering. But they're in that room because it's still the same. So I think it's just less stressful for them in there. We take them to the new place to go see it on Friday next week. So they can pick out their spots, get to know it before we move our stuff in there. Kind of start marking the area, get to know the landscape. So we get the keys on Friday, and that night we're just going to eat at the new place, not moving anything in yet, probably just getting pizza, letting the dogs explore, get to know it. Try to make it as easy as possible on them, especially because they're both older. I was looking at Onyx last night and it made my heart a little heavy. Poor guy's got cataracts. They came in really fast. Because about this point last year, I was like, I was looking at Baxter and noticing his cataracts, and then I looked at Onyx and I was like, "Oh, yours don't seem to be too bad yet." And then I was looking at him last night, and I was like, "You have cataracts now." That is very true. I am excited about some things in the new area. I am close enough to the Truckee River. It's the river that cuts through Reno. I can walk to it with the dogs, even with them being older. So I'm excited about that. We literally have what is it, the Tayobi Forest to the west of us, which is the forest that goes up into the Sierra Mountains. And then we have the desert to the east of us. So we have two different landscapes on different sides, which is cool. I'm happy with that. It's about 10, 15 degrees cooler than the rest of town. That's also really nice. The complex we're moving to has a lot more mature landscaping, and it was designed with dogs and children in mind, so everything is dog friendly. Very happy about that as well. Nope, nope, nope. You're going this. That's way. Yeah, just trying to make it as easy as possible on them. We did it when we moved here. We made the move as easy as possible on the boys. We did it with our last dogs, Dexter and Rascal, because we moved into our last apartment with both of them, and we just made it super easy for them to move. Let them get to know the new place before we move all of our stuff in. Just kind of include them. We're going to leave their beds exactly where they are in the house until, like, we kind of have an idea of where they want to stay in the new place, like have their areas marked, not necessarily pee, but just like where they're going to, where they feel comfortable, so we could put a bed there. Just, we don't want them stressing out. That's our jobs. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Best part is the rent isn't increasing, and they take care of, like, we'll be paying the same amount of rent as we are here. However, we're losing bills. So in our new rent, uh, electricity, water, sewage, trash. There is another bill, and I cannot think of it. They're all included with rent. The only thing we have to pay is power. So I'm really happy about that. So technically, we will be paying less because we won't have to worry about that extra stuff. And it's bigger. Like, can't beat that. It is bigger. 30-minute drive Nevada to Atlanta. Is it because of the desert and the forest on either side of us? I'm not sure I follow. Reno, sits right at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Oh no, we're staying in Reno. This current landlord is got red flags waving, and we are paying attention to him and leaving. So our neighbor across the way just moved out, and like, I kind of don't care anymore if my landlord is watching. Whatever. They kicked him out a month early, broke his lease. He just didn't want to fight it. He's just like, I just don't care. I don't have the energy to do this. So he didn't fight it. And then on top of it, they took his full deposit. Like, he paid $2,300 into a deposit. They're keeping that for repairs on his place and trying to charge him an additional $2,700, even though all they did was, like, he left stuff in his house. Like, I will give them that. They have to pay to remove his stuff. He left stuff in the house. They made 3 trips to the dump. They didn't replace any appliances. None of the appliances were changed. They didn't change any of the flooring, none of the blinds. I didn't even see them painting because it didn't look like there was any damage done to his place. He just left stuff. But they also kicked him out a month early. So, like, what did they expect? And they're trying to charge him like $5,000 in damage fees and maintenance and cleanup after he moved out. So we're documenting everything. We are filming everything. I'm already going through repairing the walls for any scuffs. We're cleaning them, and we're documenting them. And we're getting ready to fight them. We're not gonna just let it go like he is, because that is ridiculous. $5,000 for 3 trips to the dump. They weren't even in there for like 4 full days. Yeah, we started seeing some red flags because we moved here because the property manager, so there's the owner of the duplex, and then there's the property manager who's the middleman between the owner of the property and the tenants, us. So we knew the property manager. We had lived under her before. We really liked her. She was Eric and I's first apartment we moved in together. She was the apartment manager. We knew what to expect from her, and so we're just like, you know what? We're just gonna follow her, because our last apartment we didn't really have like the best of experience with, and so we went with her. Then the owner started shopping around for a new property manager, brought this new guy over here to like our current duplex, literally talking about our property manager, bad mouthing her right outside of my window. I heard the entire conversation, and I gave the property manager, I gave her a heads up. I'm like, they're about to dump you, just so you're aware. They're not going to go with you anymore. And she's just like, are you sure? And I like sent her video pictures, like, yeah, this is what is going on. So as soon as I saw like the crap talking, I was like, I'm not getting a good feeling about this. And sure enough, she did, and she went with this new guy. They haven't fixed any of the repairs we have put in, like nothing. And we're like, you're not going to charge us for it. If you're not going to come in and fix it until after we move, you're not charging us for it. We gave you a heads up. Like, to top it all off, in this last like week and a half, 2 weeks, black mold showed up in our bathroom. And I'm just like, I'm so over it. We've been asking for repairs done to our bathroom for a while, because paint has been chipping off the bathtub because they didn't prep the bathtub. I am a painter. I know you need to prep surfaces to take paint. They did not prep the bathtub just to paint over it. So we got the landlord special, and I'm pretty sure they just painted over black mold, which is why all the paint has been chipping off of it. And now we're seeing it, and they've just done absolutely nothing. So like, Eric and I are just like, nope, we're not staying here. We're not putting up with this. Red flags be waving. We need to listen to him and get out. And so this new place has been with one single owner in this condo. The owner of the condo just got a new job. Well, didn't just get, he'd been up there for a few months. The condo's been empty for a little while. But he got a job transfer up into Seattle, but he didn't want to get rid of his condo. So the property manager that we knew took over to manage it and rent it out. They let us sign a 2-year lease. He's not no plans of coming back to Reno for a while. Pretty chill, relaxed couple. It's like either him and his wife or him and his girlfriend. Just those two have been the only owners of this condo. It's been taken care of. They're letting us paint. It's bigger than our current place, so yeah. So yeah, we're just documenting everything, making sure like everything that we see that's wrong with it is that we let them know. They should have come in and fixed it before we moved out, and we're not getting charged for them to fix it after we move out. Because I will fight it. I am that petty. I'm not like my neighbor who's just gonna bend over and give up. I get it. He's a single dad, so he's already got a lot on his plate. I kind of understand why he's over it and doesn't want to fight it. But I'm petty enough that I'm gonna fight it. I am gonna become the biggest thorn in this owner's side. I'm not gonna give up stuff. I've been taking pictures since we first moved in. Eric and I took about 85 pictures of every little thing wrong with this place before we moved all of our stuff in. We have a folder just filled, and we even sent it to the owner to let her know, like, we documented everything. This is everything that's wrong that needs to get fixed, and nothing's been fixed. They haven't come in to do repairs at all the entire time we've been here. So yeah, we're just like done with this. We're not dealing with it. Oh no, I'm still in Reno. I'm okay talking about like my home city, and as well as like I've already said, like I'm gonna be moving up on top of or really close to the Truckee River. So like luckily the river's pretty big. That's about as much information as I'll give online about where I live. I live in Reno, and I'm gonna be living close to the Truckee River, which runs through the entire city. So good luck. But on a plus side, like Eric and I, we've been going to thrift stores, looking to get some stuff for the new place. I'm allowed to paint the walls, so I'm super excited for that. I've never in my life been allowed to paint walls. I know like people always told me like, well, you could just paint the walls and then paint them back when you move out. And I'm like, when you rent, like they come in and do inspections. They're gonna see you painted the wall. I don't want to get hit with extra fees for painting a wall, so I've never been able to paint a wall. Already got plans for one wall. So middle of your head. How far down does it go? Oh, your little thing comes like all the way down. And what's even like, I don't understand why they think they're going to be charging my neighbor so much money. I'm really like frustrated for him, especially because like I watched them. I work from home, so I watched them clean his apartment, and there was a couple days where like honestly like I'm not blaming the guys that came in and did the repairs. They're just there to do repairs. I don't know the full situation. Like maybe they were waiting on stuff, but I will say like there were 2 days I watched them just in that in the unit sleeping on the ground for like 4 hours, not doing anything. So I don't know if like they were maybe waiting for supplies and just couldn't move forward with anything or what they were doing, but like they obviously, it wasn't that bad of a state if they were able to just sleep on the job, basically. But I still cannot believe that. Like, my jaw dropped when I found out that they were charging him that much money. And I watched them. Like, there's no way that the repairs or cleaning that they did cost $5,000. There is just absolutely no way. And Nevada sucks for tenant rights, but that is one that, like, tenants do have like a very clear right with, which is our deposits and what the owners are and are not allowed to charge for with deposits. And it just seems like the owner's trying to use it as like a money making scheme. I did let my neighbor know, like, if he has to go to court, I'd be willing to um, be a witness for him. Just let me know. I'd want someone to step up for me if I was in his situation and they saw something. So, got to make sure I'm doing it for him too. Plus, being a single dad, like, if I can come in and just be a witness for what I saw, give a statement, and see if it helps him out, then yeah, I will. But I'm gonna make sure, like, the owner knows, like, do not mess with me. You are not gonna have fun. I am gonna be as petty as possible. Because they tried kicking us out a month early too, but we called them out on it, and then they dropped it, and we got that all documented. We have it all in writing that they tried to do that, and we are very much so aware they did that to our neighbor, which to me shows pattern of behavior, which I'm pretty sure a judge would also take into account. I'm also aware and have documentation that the person who was, it was either his place before him or my place before me. One of the people that used to live here, they moved out, they did their walkthrough, and all that stuff was taken care of. And while the house was vacant, the pipe under the toilet burst. And then, because they were still kind of in the middle of giving this deposit back, she wanted to keep the deposit to pay for this burst pipe, even though, like, the tenant was no longer in the place. You can't do that. And she got really pissed off at the my friend who's the property manager, because I guess this happened while we were getting ready to move in, and she can't talk about, like, this kind of stuff with other tenants, but I now have documentation that this happened, where, like, yeah, she tried going after the prior tenant to pay for a burst pipe that happened when nobody was in the place. So I'm sad that I'm gonna be leaving. Oh, I feel like this is too far up your head. You need this here. So while I'll miss some stuff here, like the backyard, that's gonna suck. Losing the backyard sucks, but as well as the garage, we're gonna be back to a carport. It's just not gonna be worth it. It won't be worth it at all. feel like I might need to make your head a little bit bigger. Or your hips. I need to make your hips bigger. You keep thinning out your hips. You've got curves. How's it going, Illustrated? You just missed me venting about my current landlord or the property owner here and the move, and I kind of at a point where I just don't care and opened up. I was spilling tea. The move is definitely coming along. Finally, like, setting in. It looks like we're moving. The place is empty and, well, not empty, but everything's been taken off the wall in rooms. Stuff is being packed up. We got a pile of boxes. The way we're setting it up, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. We're doing one room at a time, just so like we could basically take in a room and get it set up as we're going. We have enough time for the move. We get the keys next Friday. We don't have to be out of this place until the 31st. We ideally want to be out by the 29th so that we can spend the 30th cleaning, because we have a feeling we're going to have to be fighting the owner for our deposit back. Because like they are grossly going after our neighbor who moved out across the way. They kicked out, I should say, like, call it what it is. They kicked him out. They cut his lease a month early and kicked him out. And they're charging him $5,000 for cleaning and repairs, even though no new flooring went into the place. They pulled his appliances into the garage, and I watched them clean them because I work from home. So like I watch this stuff. They cleaned his appliances and put them back. None of the appliances needed to be replaced. They didn't do any painting. Like, I never saw any paint go into the place. So obviously the walls were good. No new flooring. They didn't replace the blinds. So what in the world do they need $5,000 for? They made 3 trips to the dump because he left stuff in his garage and around this place. So like it was dirty, but I don't foresee 3 trips to the dump exceeding $1,000 in any world. So now that we're like, we know that's going on, we're preparing for the worst ourselves. But I'm petty enough that I'm gonna go to court and I will fight her. I'm gonna make her regret if she tries to withhold our deposit from us, because the dogs never once peed in the house. We like deep clean once a month and clean very thoroughly every week. Like Eric and I are a pretty clean couple. And none of the repairs we've put in have been fixed. So they cannot charge us for any of the repairs, that some of which are a year old, that they've never come in to repair. So I'm going to be petty, and we're just getting ready. We have pictures and video of the way everything looked before we moved in our walkthrough, that like we've learned our lesson. So we did take video before we moved in just to show like these things were damaged before we came here. We had nothing to do with this. In fact, as I've been taking down everything from the walls, I've been spackling and painting up things that were already wrong with the walls before we moved in. Like there were holes in the wall that were left. They just painted over and there's just this hole in the wall. I repaired those. I fixed them. So, like, in a way, we're going to be leaving this place in a better state than when we got it. We've upgraded the shower, and we're leaving that. No, I was able to get that taken off of my rent, but that was just because the old property manager, the middleman from the owner to us, I was friends with her, and so like she's one of those that if you upgrade the place, it'll be taken off of your rent. It has to be approved, but like she'll make sure it's taken off. This new property manager is not like that. If we make any repairs, it doesn't matter. We still have to pay the full amount in rent. Yeah. So when we talk to them, we are going to let them know like, hey, we are aware that you kicked out our neighbor a month early. We also have documentation that you tried doing that to us too. Like they tried kicking us out a month early, not kicking us out, but making us go like, oh, it's time for you to renew your lease. Your lease is up. You need to come in and do that. And we are like, no, 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 it's not. It's up in May. And they were trying to tell us in March that our lease was up. Which I thought was like that was really really shady. And so those were like some of the red flags we started seeing with this new place. Um, just repairs not getting fixed at all. Them not passing forward any of our maintenance requests. So it sucks. There's things about this place I'm gonna miss, but I'm really not gonna miss the owner. So shady. Yeah, exactly. They are shady. When the new property manager was brought on, so I was friends with the original property manager. She was our apartment manager when Eric and I first got our own apartments. She ended up getting her own business, now runs a property management firm, and does rentals through her own business. So, like, our first apartment, Eric and I were living underneath her. We then moved into another place, absolutely hated it, had a horrible, like, experience there. Like, the reason we ended up moving out is because I got followed back into my own apartment by another neighbor whose dogs attacked Baxter and Onyx, and they were trying to blame it on me and then intimidated me and followed me back to my apartment. And the office did absolutely nothing, and I was like, I don't feel safe here anymore. You guys aren't doing anything. I'm moving. So we ended up moving out of that situation. Found my property manager with her own business now, and she told us about this place. We checked it out. We thought we liked it. We were gonna be under Alicia, so we knew like if anything was going on that we needed to address, if like we already knew what we needed to expect, so we decided to move here. But then in October, all of a sudden we saw the property owner, the actual owner of the duplex, outside of my window. Eric and I, like, well, I was in the shower and Eric's like, come here, David, 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 come here. The owner's out there. And so we go out, like, look out the blinds, and it's the owner talking to this man. And yeah, no, I not. It was the neighbor's fault for not having their dog on a leash. Onyx and Baxter were on leash. Their dogs were not on leash, and like they were attacking Onyx and Baxter and attacking me. And I was telling I was telling the neighbor like, get your dog or I'm gonna kick him, because like I'm trying to get Baxter and Onyx, and my feet are being bit at and my legs are being bit at while I'm trying to protect Baxter and Onyx. And she was just laughing at me. She was stoned out of her mind, just laughing at me. And I'm like getting livid. Luckily, like another neighbor had a recording from their Ring camera, but the office still didn't do anything. And that was just like, you guys have a recording of what happened. You have witnesses that came to the office after the incident, and you're doing nothing. I'm leaving, and you guys are not going to charge me to break lease because I don't feel safe in here anymore. And this is due to your own negligence. And after a couple weeks of fighting with them, I was finally able to get them to relent, and we left. But anyway, so like back in October, I heard the owner and this new property manager talking outside of my window, and the property owner, the duplex owner, she was sitting there bad mouthing the current property manager, just talking all sorts of BS about her. And I'm just like out in my window, like, are you serious? I started recording it. I took pictures. I gave a heads up to the property manager, my friend. Like, well, I mean, like, we're acquaintances and stuff, but like, I gave her a heads up, like, they're about to fire you. They are talking mad crap about you. This is what's going on. So I gave her a heads up so she could prepare for it. And yeah, they ended up dropping her. They brought in this new guy, and he is just another piece of work. Like, just he very much so a mean girl, just a mean girl. So yeah, that was just like, after that I was like, yeah, that was really shady. I do not want to be here anymore. I felt really bad for the like the manager that I knew, but now that our lease is coming up, we were able to get this condo. This guy has been the sole owner of his condo. He's lived in it the entire time. He had a mandatory job transfer up in Seattle, but he didn't want to get rid of his condo. So that was when he got with my old property manager. She took it into her portfolio. It's kind of just been sitting there for a little while. And the rent is the same as our current place. However, he takes care of water, sewage, trash, and internet. The only thing we pay is power. So everything is included with rent. So technically, we will be paying less. It is bigger. We will be losing the garage and the backyard, but the landscaping is super mature. The condo was made in like the early 2000s. So it's very mature landscaping, but when it was made with dogs and children in mind. So the landscaping is very dog friendly. And yeah, I'm just like, there are some negatives, like we're gonna be losing the garage in the backyard, but all in all, I think this is the right decision for us. Plus, like, I get to be closer to the river. I get a view of nature again. Inner city's not that bad, but I've missed being able to walk around nature. Eric's only gaining about 7 minutes to his commute, so it's almost doubling. It's currently 8 minutes, 8 to 10, depending on traffic. The new place is like 14 to 15 minutes, depending on traffic. There's a back way that goes directly into his job. He could also hop on the freeway if he wants to, but we're very happy with the decision for this. We think it's going to work out. I'm hoping it does, but if nothing else, we were able to sign a 2-year lease, so we do not have to worry about rent increase for at least 2 years. And I'm really happy about that, because the 2-year lease is super nice. Because that's like unheard of. Because we didn't want to leave this place for a while. We were wanting to be here for like 5 years. That was our goal. Is this oversharing? Is this being parasocial? I had one of my friends tell me, like, not to be parasocial online. Is this being parasocial? I should probably, like, look into that more to make sure I'm not being parasocial, but I just needed to vent. My IRL friends, like, they're already exhausted over this, and I've been venting about this for like months, and I kind of stopped over the last couple of weeks because I was like, I already feel like you guys have heard it all already. So yes, that's gonna be part of Friday. So we have 2 bedrooms. One room is like the office, and it's like Eric's getaway room. So like we have 2 bedrooms that we can go to when we just want to be like by ourselves. Um, it, we have the space and the ability to do it, and it's worked out quite well. Eric has basically his game room where his computer and office and everything is all set up, so he could just go in there, and it's like his little man cave. And then the art, like the main bedroom, we do as my art studio. The other reason is like I don't really like a TV being in the bedroom, so like that's why that one's also the art studio and all that kind of stuff. Just because like if I need to get away and just focus on art, I can. Then Eric can go into the other bedroom and just play video games and has the TV set up. Plus, if his mom ever stays with us, she has her own room and bed and TV that she can utilize. So like we're figuring those rooms out, which is going to be which. We're getting a dining room, which we haven't had in an apartment in a while. Like it's kind of funny that like we just haven't had a dining room. Like we haven't had a dining room table. I think the entire time Eric and I have been together, because our first apartment didn't have a dining room. It had like a breakfast bar, so we just used the breakfast bar. Our second apartment, same thing, had a breakfast bar but no dining room, so we just used the breakfast bar. And then this place doesn't have a dining room; it's just the kitchen into the living room. And so like we've just been using the living room, but this new place has like a dedicated dining room. And Eric and I are like, do we want to get a dining room table? It has like a little breakfast bar area as well. And we're like, do we just continue using the breakfast bar, or like do we get a dining room table set now? And the other thing that we've been thinking about is like maybe we just turn it into like my art area, because it's kind of separate. It has like an archway you have to walk in through, and it's like its own dedicated room, and there's the archway into the living room and then the archway into the kitchen. So that's looking like it could be a possibility for a dedicated like art studio. But both of the bedrooms are bigger than our current bedrooms, so like that also, like it wouldn't be that bad if we just keep that the same kind of layout, where our main bedroom is my art studio and the spare bedroom is his game room. Okay, good, illustrated. Yeah, it's probably the neurodivergence. But I'm allowed to paint, and I already have a couple things picked out for what we want to do. So in that archway into the living room or into the dining room, I want to do brick. I want to paint brickwork. So in the arch, do brick. There's also like for the breakfast bar into the kitchen. So like, how can I make this layout? I got Q-tips. I'm gonna use the Q-tips. So I'm gonna kind of like map this out for you guys. And technically that's not there, but like this is the bedroom. So here's the living room, right? In this area down here. This is the living room. This goes to the main bedroom, and this is like the closet, then the bathroom's right there. Here's the dining room. You go through an archway to go into the dining room. There's another archway into the kitchen. Kitchen sink is right here, and it has like a window into the living room that's also arched. And I want to paint both of those archways with brickwork around them. And that's also where the breakfast bar is. So like I have this space right here where we're like, do I turn it into an art studio? Plus this wall right here, this accent wall is already painted like a rust red. It's a really pretty color. So like it has an accent wall that's already painted. Living room has one that's like, it's this wall over here is like millennial gray. And then also like we have the laundry room, another bathroom, and the spare bedroom on this side. So like the bedrooms are on the opposite ends of the condo from each other. And then yeah, this space. So like this is the space Eric and I are like, we haven't figured out, do I want to use it for an art studio? Do we want to turn it into a dining room? I don't want to just push him out of the idea and just like, yeah, it's going to be my art space. Oh, well, we don't need a dining room table. I want him to kind of like think about it as well, because like, let's say his mom comes with us, she's made comments in the past like, you guys need a dining room table, you guys need a dining room table. So I want him to like also be a part of that, not just like me bulldoze over him and say, no, it's gonna be an art studio. I will say lighting is going to be a little bit more consistent, and it's both a good thing and a bad thing. Like here we have three sides of the so we're in a duplex, and between both my neighbor and I, our duplexes are our garages. So it's like, here is our duplex, here's our garage, his garage, and then here's his place. So like that's how the duplexes are connected. And we have three walls that bring in lighting. That's why like my lighting is so inconsistent in my videos, is just because even if I close the blinds, it gets impacted by the sun from painting in the morning or so. The condo only has one wall that's going to be getting lighting in, and it's the evening sun. But if I go into the dining room, I don't even have to worry about the evening sun, because all the lighting will be artificial. I'll be setting it up and it will be very easy to control. That is a great idea in theory, Illustrated. It is not going to happen. If I turn it into an art studio, it is going to be an art studio forever. I like the idea of being able to do multiple, like multi-use, so as a dining room and an art studio. That's not going to happen. I'm going to get too sucked into projects, and I'm going to take over every single space, available space there. So that definitely won't happen. I know myself too well. Because Eric will be like, oh, we got to make sure that we set this up for the dining room. And I'll be like, I'm in the middle of recording. I can't change it up yet. I need to finish this project first. And he's like, but we need the dining room. I think I got the silhouette really good. Yes. I do take time to try to work on myself and understand like what are my weaknesses and what are my strengths, and I have a very strong personality sometimes, so like I know I can bulldoze over others. I don't mean to, but it is something I've been working on and being aware of that I do it, and like being aware of how it can come up is definitely helped Eric and I with like fights. We barely fight, which is wonderful, because like all my other exes, like we used to fight all the time. Eric and I have been together for we've been together for 10 years, more than 10 years, 12 years. We have been together for 12 years. Goodness, I know how long we've been together. I pay attention to my marriage. Um, but like we really haven't had very many fights. I think at most we've had like maybe half a dozen fights, because I've definitely worked on like things that I needed to be able to compromise with my partner. It has been a process, but I've been doing better, and it's understanding like I have natural tendencies that I just need to be aware of and how to work on them. So our first apartment was like that. Our first apartment, I loved it, but it wasn't very big. It was a two-story like townhouse setup, but we had a downstairs neighbor, and then we had our living room and kitchen, and then above it were the bedrooms, but it was super narrow, and there just was not room for an art studio or an art space. And so I kind of just did it wherever I could, and I took over everything. Eric would even point out, like, you're painting over there. You got this painting, like, it was, well, while I was still doing oil paints, I was like, you have one painting over there drying. You're working on this painting. You got all these supplies over there. You got all these boxes. Like, you can't take up all the space. Other people need to live here too. So when we moved into the next apartment, like, I had a dedicated art space that we planned out when we moved in, and that helped immensely. And now we just kind of like, no, I just need to have a dedicated art space. Otherwise, I will just take over. So I'm right there with you. All right, so like 2.5 is the size. Cinderace's head is like 2.5 of his heads. So I got like one. Ooh, your head is a little small. I'm gonna need to make your head a little bit bigger. Yes, sir. You decided to come out of the bedroom. Look at him over there waiting for me. He's like, I need to go. Can you take me? I was like, you paid attention. I need to go to the bathroom. Will you take me? So I will be right back, you guys. I gotta take him out. I will be just a couple minutes. Where did my sign go? Be right back while I take him to the restroom. Come on, let's go potty. Onyx, are you gonna come? Goodness, I just realized you weren't out there. Come on, let's go potty. boys. Come on. You gotta wash my hands. I gotta wash my hands first. I know. I'm going. You guys are pushy. All right, you boys are taken care of. Sorry about that. I am back. I'm definitely going to need to get a more official looking sign. Let's move you really quick so I can figure out. You hit the ball right here. I could pass the ball like right here, and then Kenny reaching up to grab it. I did hear about the shooting. I really wish we, as a country, could do something about that. I really wish our elected officials would do more. Because I'm really getting sick and tired of how desensitized to shootings everybody is. At least in this country, how desensitized to them we are. We need major everything reform. like, there's no getting around it. We need major everything reform. All right, I'm going to have to do the same thing to Cinderace that I did with Jirachi. Cool shadowing, warm highlights. To make that white stand out a little bit more. Oh, and I still didn't do his tail. I mentioned that I needed to do his tail. That's very tragic. My condolences to her family and her friends. We have the power to stop this. I don't understand why we're not. And by we, I mean our officials. I hate how so many of them I hate how so many of them basically just disregard everything that they were running on. Like Fetterman's a really major example of that. My there was a really bad accident as well. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before in Las Vegas. Like my old side of town, Vegas has got like some major issues going on. The city grew way too quick, and it is just not like pedestrian safe at all. There's just no way around it. Las Vegas was not made with pedestrians in mind. It's just houses built outwards, and everything is so spread out, which makes it really difficult for when people are walking. And then things that, like the other day that happened down there, drunk driver lost control and crossed the median, hit a car, and then hit two schoolgirls. And both of them passed away at the scene of the accident. And I'm just like looking at this because like that was my old side of town. I know the area very well, and I'm just like looking at it, and I'm like, it's one of the reasons why I moved out of Vegas, though, is because the driving out there was just getting so bad. Because every road is just like more lanes, more lanes, more lanes. And sidewalks are just like no protection for pedestrians. And then what's worse is like when we try bringing this stuff up to like the city, like here in Reno is starting to do the same thing. Luckily, there are parts of Reno that just they're too old because the city was built in the 1800s. Like there's no expanding. You're either encroaching on historical sites or you're not. So like Reno is both spread out but then condensed. And so like there's parts of it that are a little bit more pedestrian friendly. But like that's such a big issue with Vegas. That's why like the accidents out there are just so bad. And while the drivers here in Reno aren't the best either, it's been far better than what I used to deal with out in Las Vegas. It's just sad because I just see all these things going on. And I remember there was when I was in high school, I was it my sophomore year? I think it was my sophomore year, and he was a junior. There was a student that was racing another student and driving through a bunch of back roads. And one of the issues was like this, because this area of town was being built when I was in high school, like it was quickly developing. There was a bunch of back roads, but then like they intersected with parts that were developed or developing. And that's what was going on, is there was a part of it being developed, and there was a bunch of like big rigs hauling away rock, dirt, and everything. And so this was on Ann Road. That was like the major road that was like 4-6 lanes in some areas, I think. And then it all of a sudden condensed down into a 2-lane. And so like all the big rigs were just flying down Ann Road, and like Ann Road's going this way, our school's up here. They came down and were doing back roads racing. They ran a stop sign on Ann Road, and he ended up getting hit by one of the big rigs and passed away. And that was like huge news for our region, that like such an accident had happened. And now it seems like an accident like that happens every week. And it's just like everybody in Las Vegas is just so desensitized to it. Like with everything else, it's just constantly being desensitized to all these tragic events, as if like, oh, well, it's just part of life. We can't do anything about it. When like there's a lot, like they could have absolutely worked on the road first for traffic before developing all these like hubs basically that are just surrounded by back roads. which made traffic really difficult. Like all the roads should have been built and brought up to par first, then the rest of the developments happen. I'm just getting on tangents. I don't know why I'm getting on tangents today. I'm feeling feisty, I guess. I'm preparing my pettiness for when I need to go up against my landlord. I need to make sure this base white coat is super opaque. I'm gonna have you kind of like looking up this way at the ball. So I need to figure out where your eyes are. Okay, this has got different positions for your head. So I can see it in different parts. Your ears are bigger. That's probably what it is your ears are too small. And it most definitely is. Your actual head part should be like a third. How's it going, Mias? Eminem. Oh yeah, you can see all three of the Pokemon. It's been a little bit since I've seen you in chat. Hope everything's going well for you. I need to make your ears a little bit more wide. I had a feeling just because Cinderace is just such a more complicated Pokemon, it was going to take me a little bit longer to block him out. No, I don't want you reducing screen time. I need you to stay on. No worries. I'm glad you're able to make it now. I know life can be hectic sometimes. That is looking more proportionate and more appropriate for Cinderace. Got a big head. Just keep that in mind. Cinderace has got a big head. Oh, and just a heads up, next week I'm planning on going live. Just as long as everything works out, I will be getting the keys on Friday, so I should be able to still go live next week. The following week, I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to go live. We will see. We're going to try to make it work so I can still go live because I still got to get work done. But that one might be a little bit more tricky. We're hoping though that the last week in May I will be able to go live again without any issues. So I might be missing 1, maybe 2 weeks. About another hour. If you have to go, it's all good. Get your family taken care of. I imagine it's dinner time. It's like what, 6 o'clock? Yeah, I'm just trying to plan it out and give you guys a heads up as best I can. I'll also be making an announcement, like I'm not going to be able to go live, maybe with a progress pic of how everything's coming along. You're just you're getting inspiration. That's part of the whole process, is getting inspiration, being aware of what you want to do. It's definitely looking more like Cinderace. Ooh, the detail work is my favorite part of painting. Should say it's like my favorite part of the process is doing all the detail work. And I figured out why too. It's my ADHD. So one of the things like I do is, like, especially in conversation, I've had friends point this out, and it's another one of those things I work on. I My imagination is always going. So like when people are talking to me, my imagination will kind of like try to take over and try to fill in words that they're going to say, or like finish their thought for them. And it's something like I have to like tell my brain not to do. That's rude. Don't do that. But like I can't stop it internally. It just goes. And so when I'm doing the detail work, that part of my brain is just like finishing off like the little trees here in the background. One of the trees, I don't remember which one, but like in my head while I was painting it, I was coming up with this whole story of owls that lived in this tree. Well, Hoot Hoot, but the Pokemon Hoot Hoot and Noctowl, a family of them live in one of these trees, and they're just waking up. And like maybe Daddy Noctowl's out looking for food, and Mama Noctowl is still with the 2 Hoot Hoots. And just because of the time of day, they're just starting to wake up and get a little bit active. And that was playing out in my head while I was painting one of these little tiny trees back here. Of course, I didn't do anything with it. You can't see them in the tree, but in my mind, that's what was going on. And my brain does that for like all the details. Like with the rocks down here, I was envisioning like where an anthill would be, if like what would make sense for like the ants to go. Like I didn't put in an anthill, it's not there, but that's where my brain was going. Was like thinking about like What would the ants be seeing down here? Where would an anthill be? What would it look like from their perspective if they had this place? So like that's one of the reasons why my like the detail work in my paintings is one of my favorite parts, because it just lets my brain go crazy. It is absolutely a fun way. That's why I tell people like I have fun when I'm painting. This is what my brain is doing. It's an outlet for my ADHD. It can hyper focus on just things that don't really matter, but absolutely come out in the painting and make my paintings like what they are, and why I have so much fun with them and getting lost in all these detail work. Every little detail is just, it's a story that my brain has come up with. When people ask me like how can I like focus more on the detail work, the only advice I could really give on it is just treat every detail as if it is the only one that matters for that moment. If you're doing a very big painting where you're doing like a landscape like this, I just focus on one thing at a time. Like with the background, I focused on just the stars and the nebula first, and then I just focused on the clouds. Or first, then I just focused on the sunset, then I just focused on the clouds, and then I just focused on this little back area right here, and then I focused on this little back area right here. And then as I got a little bit closer, I was just like, okay, like let's start thinking about the flowers. And like I just did all the flowers, and then I did all the bushes, and then I did the trees, and then I moved to the front and started doing all of the flowers and the tree here. And so like it's the only thing that matters for that moment when I'm working on it. Yeah, it takes the painting some time, but it's fun because my imagination is just going crazy while I'm painting all these details and thinking about like what would somebody be seeing if they were in this, and what would it look like from different angles, and like if this is somebody's just every day, what are they doing right now? What is it doing if it's an animal? You are not going to ruin it. I saw your painting. You posted an update on Instagram. You are not going to ruin it. That middle duck, the one that you've like got the most detail work on, is so stinking cute. Do you tell that inner critic to just shut up? You got this. And remember, you cannot make ducks too fluffy. In fact, if you make them or like spherical, they're gonna look even cuter. So like if you make them too fluffy, they're just gonna look like spherical fluffy ducklings, and those are gonna be so freaking adorable. You cannot screw up the ducks. I promise you. You are doing a fantastic job. Is it really giving you the most trouble? I could not tell. So whatever doubts you're hearing inside your head, I hope I can ease them, because I could not tell that you were struggling with that middle duck. It's like that was the one that looked like it had the most personality. I guarantee you are not going to mess it up. And even if you do mess it up, like, psh, lean into it. Like I said, spherical ducklings would be super cute. Pokemon does it all the time. They make animals spherical, and they're some people's favorite animals. Or favorite Pokemon. I guarantee if you make them spherical, people would love them. Just extra fluffy. Fluffy to the max. I think I'm happy with the silhouette. I can see Cinderace in it. It's got Cinderace's essence with liking to kick and into sports, so not going crazy. Like, that was my other concern, is I didn't want it too dynamic because I didn't want it to look like Cinderace is like in the heat of an attack. I want it to look like he's playful and having fun. I don't want it to be too serious, and I like this pose. I think the pose is right for that. I think it's just throwing me off because I just realized, like, I promise I'm not body shaming Cinderace, but you got some childbearing hips. They were not that easy to draw or paint, because it's making his figure look very effeminate, but like I feel like Cinderace has just got an effeminate shape. It's just Cinderace. It's the way he's built. I think I'm gonna need to go bigger on your tail, though. Yeah, your tail is a lot bigger. I feel like your tail is even bigger than this. And I feel like I need to make your hips even wider. Like, your hips are wider than your shoulders. Well, Cinderace is a soccer playing Pokemon. It's the region Cinderace is from is based on the UK, and so it's basically a soccer rabbit. However, Kenny, this is who the painting's gonna be memorializing. He was really into American football, so I'm gonna have Cinderace kicking in American football. But like, yeah, as I was getting it done, I was like, he's definitely kicking more in a soccer style than in a football style. But Cinderace, I'm just going with Cinderace isn't used to playing American football that much. Kenny's teaching him. And so like in the beginning, he's gonna be doing like more soccer stuff. Stances are gonna be more in a soccer way, and yep, it's just gonna have to. That's just gonna be the goal. So like, maybe have Kenny laughing and Cinderace kind of like smiling but like a little embarrassed. I think that would be a good playful way to have them. Yeah, Cinderace is definitely built leg first. I'm definitely going to need to fix. Like, yeah. Like, it almost feels like his top half is a different Pokemon from his bottom half. Oh, how's it going, Frosty? Yes, it is. It's Cinderace. Got Pikachu, Jirachi, and then Cinderace in. Cassie said that these three Pokemon were Kenny's favorite. Wanted to make sure, like, I'm working on them. I'm just struggling because do you see these? Do you see these? Like, look at those hips. Cinderace has got junk in the trunk and childbearing hips, and I am struggling to capture them adequately in this silhouette so I could keep painting. Like, look at them childbearing hips. They're throwing me off. Chantel, how's it going? I'm working on the Pokemon in this painting. You can see since the last time I got like more of the flowers and the dandelions done. It does. All the dandelions and the flowers are done. And then I got Pikachu right there eating a berry. And then where's Jirachi? There's Jirachi. I got Jirachi added in. And then I'm working on the silhouette of Cinderace so then I can paint it and have a good foundation for it. I imagine it's a lot of editing. My word, you make my head spin with how much editing, how many videos you're able to get out. You are an absolute rock star when it comes to putting out your videos. Leave me in awe. You've definitely got a skill. And just doing good. Basically painting while I take a break from packing because we're going to be moving. We get the keys next week. I really can't wait to take you all on a tour. Get my place all together and show you the new place, and then potentially maybe do a live, like when I go on a walk with the dogs, take you guys down to the river with me, maybe take a sketchbook. I could see that being a lot of fun, going down with like maybe like a little picnic basket so the dogs can be happy, water, some tea, and set up my camera to like watch the dogs while I sketch and enjoy the river. Oh, Frosty, I don't know if you're aware, but like I'm moving onto the west side of town. So I'm going to be close to the Truckee River. I'm kind of excited. I being able to walk to the river. Ooh. Another big one. I do enjoy your big videos. I still need a comment on your last video. It's just an extra view for you because whenever I forget to comment on a video, I remember like, oh, I need to comment on this. And so then I put it on and I rewatch it so I can like leave an adequate comment, and then I totally forget to comment again, and so then I end up watching it again. I will watch videos like 3 or 4 times sometimes before remembering to comment on them. But at least it's getting your views up because I'm sitting there watching it so much. I do at least remember to like all the videos. Like the first thing I do is I like. So there is a positive to it, yeah. I'm sure there are other people who do the same thing. I cannot be alone with that one. Like Creative Jargons, his last podcast, I watched that twice and still haven't commented. I keep forgetting to comment on it too, and I'm probably going to watch it for a third time so that I can leave my comment. Okay, now I'm really seeing Cinderace now. I'm happy with the proportions. I feel like the white is opaque enough that I'm not going to have to worry about it. Got about 30 minutes left, so do I want to start coloring things? I kind of do. Oh, kind of just remembered. I wanted to talk about this. I don't know if anybody in here follows Coloring with Claire. She recently had her channel hacked, and she posted about it on Instagram. Unfortunately, looking at it, it seems that a bunch of people unsubscribed to her after she had announced that she had been hacked. And so if you were one of them, you can resubscribe. She got her channel back, Coloring with Claire. If you like Creative Paula, you would like Coloring with Claire. So just wanted to like, I noticed that. She didn't ask me. I haven't even talked to her about it. I just like noticed from yesterday to today, she had a significant drop in her subscribers. I think it was like a couple thousand at least. Creative Paula Mariah Elizabeth follows her too on Instagram. She does all sorts of like cool coloring techniques, and she has tutorial videos. She's in the UK too. But she did get her channel back. So I just wanted to like put that out there as well. If you happen to have been one of the ones that unsubscribed because her channel had been hacked, she got it back. I'm very happy she was able to get it back. I would just be devastated. I wouldn't even know what to do. And I'm so much smaller than her, and yeah. She's an absolute sweetheart. I enjoy her coloring styles. She has so many of them, and they're just so much fun, like watching come to life. She's just one of those channels I just enjoy having on. Makes me feel good. Okay, your red is kind of like a brick. Official artwork. We'll just pull up the official artwork for the right color. Yeah, that's all I could like. All I was doing yesterday when I saw her going through that, I was just like thinking about like what would I be doing if I was in her situation? What would I want others to do? And I'm just such a small creator, and I'm like I can't help much, but I'm gonna try to do what I can. And she announced right before I about an hour before I went live, she announced that she got her channel back, and I was like, thank goodness. All right, Mr. Childbearing hipped rabbit. That is definitely too dark. I made that way too dark. Oh, I also want to say there's one thing I'm super excited about for this new place. We have centralized AC again. For those in the UK and Europe, I know like AC, you guys aren't into AC as much as we are here in the US, but it is definitely a must in some areas. We had the window units, but I am not gonna miss setting them up. We're starting to get the sun bearing down on the outside part of our duplex, baking all of the brick, cooking us alive from the inside out. I was just thinking about that. I was like, we would need to be setting up the AC units in the next couple weeks, but thank goodness we don't have to now. We had the window units. Like, I've basically been in centralized AC my whole life as well, but we had the window units, and they worked. Like, they did their job, but it's just a hassle setting them up and then pulling them out of the windows when like when it's starting to get cold outside. You want to bring them in because you don't want that gap to the outside. I could totally see it too, and it works because he's a fire type. It's like, just get this water type out of here. And Poliwag is spherical. You're a little bit more orange, but like at the same time, it's this weird evening twilight. I'm gonna need to add orange though. I said something, it's gonna now be there on my mind if I don't add orange. I think Tangela would get a little bit more upset than a Poliwag. Oh, nice! I like her videos too. She's got such a fun art style. It's like this mixture of modern but whimsical and this like grungy look. Yeah, she has got such a cool style too. That's really cool. I feel like I still need a little bit more orange in this. I definitely need some more orange. Now you got a piece of her in your movie for all times. Yeah, I love her style. There's so many artists though. I just love their styles. I'm so fascinated by like just seeing what their brain does to tweak something here, tweak something there, and make it their own. I feel like that's one of the things that like I struggle with is just making stuff my own. I'm very like I try to go like almost like magical realism. I just increase the saturation so much, but keep things looking very realistic. I get in my own head where I'm just like, I don't really have a style because of that. I know it's hogwash. I do have a style. It's just like just that voice in your head. I think that red is good because then I can do like the highlights. Oh, really? I didn't know the Black Keys are still making music. I haven't heard from them in a hot minute. That's really cool. She tells another artist like I don't know if Chantel's still in here because I know it's kind of late in the UK, but when I was watching the Create This book, that was when I got in. Wait, was it the Create This Book Club or the Secret Santa? Yeah, that is really cool. I don't know which video I saw first, but I ended up watching a second video, and I just was just kind of fascinated by Chantel's style with faces. It is so unique. That's what kind of like totally grabbed my attention with her. Is just it was so different and almost almost nostalgic in a way. I was talking to Eric actually about it. Oh, you are still here. I was actually talking to Eric about your portraits, trying to figure out like what about them makes them feel nostalgic. And we kind of concluded that you have a really, it's almost like uncanny to the like the jacks, queen, king, jokers in a deck of cards, like the standard deck of cards from Bicycle. The people, the humans, all have like a distinct look to their face, and yours is really close, but almost like in an uncanny way different. And I used to play cards so much when I was a kid, so I was thinking like maybe that's the reason why her art feels nostalgic to me. You totally have a style, Chantel. Yes, you have a very distinct style. I would be able to point out your artwork whenever I see it. Like no one would be able to get away from stealing your artwork if like they try posting something online and claiming it as their own, I would immediately be able to tell that's yours. See, everybody agrees, Chantel. You have a really distinct style. And I think that's why everybody's so drawn to you. You have such a like it's such a fascinating style. It's captivating and kind of magical. So yeah, if you ever want to, Chantel, like I totally think you should design a deck of cards, or at least like maybe take a suit of cards, like maybe like the spades or the hearts or the clubs, and just do the king, queen, jack, and like the 10 of just like from that deck. I think like that would be such a cool card. Maybe one day you could sell them too and have your own deck of designed cards. I would totally buy it. But that's why I feel like it's reminiscent. Is you just got this really cool way of pulling at my nostalgia. Aw, no need to be embarrassed, Chantel. It's a very good thing. You have a wonderful style. It's captivating. It immediately pulled me in. And nice to see you too, buddy. Yes, it is. I love going back through like old videos from artists I followed on YouTube. The Last Coffee Bean is another. I absolutely love her work. She does like clutter art where she'll have like a character she made up and they're just in this like super cluttered space. And it's been really fun to watch that style develop over the years and how much it's improved. That would be cool. I'm totally on board. So if you just needed somebody to like say that they would love that if you did it, like I'm that person. Yes. I think that would be super cool. I mean, you could even take it a step further and like create a scene like the king with the queen outside of the card. What would their life be like outside of the deck of cards? As silly as that sounds. And you can always just write them down on a list like Mariah does. I've started doing that too. Just like if I get big video ideas, I just put it on the list and I'm like, okay, whenever I have free time now to do a big video, I can just like look at this list like which big video do I want to do next? Ooh, I've actually had a couple of people mention that to me too on one of my last videos. They're just like, you should design tarot cards. I know nothing about tarot though, but I have had some people say that to me too. I think that could be cool. You got this. You'll get those Squarespace sponsors. You got this. Yeah, I think that would be a fun idea. Cards come into life. That's what inspired my Pokemon paintings was thinking about the life the Pokemon had would have had inside those the artwork on the cards. And like, look at me now. Like I basically am. I feel like you could take some of these and just like it could be the main picture of a card. Like this little Pikachu right here absolutely could just be a card. Same thing with Jirachi. It could be a card. For the tarot cards, you think I mean maybe like with like, if it's similar to my emotional state series, but I would need to learn the cards. I wouldn't just want to make a card. I would want to learn why it is the way it is. I feel like that's super important for tarot and that will take some time. I definitely like would consider it, but I would need to learn tarot, what the cards mean, what they stand for, the symbolism behind them, just so like I'm staying true. Should I tag them on like Instagram or something and just be like, Yo, Squarespace, here's a creator I think you should be sponsoring. Yo, Squarespace, check this out. Why aren't you sponsoring this person? Oh, I can apply some pressure. Right? It seems to work for a lot of other creators. I've seen some sponsorships happen over on TikTok because like people are like tagging the company and being like, "Hey, you need to sponsor this person," and then they end up doing it. I don't know if I could do an agency. I mean, it might help with editing, but then at the same time, like I feel like I might lose something with my editing if I do that. I noticed over the last couple months, since I want to say December, I've had like a few local marketing agencies like start following me, or talent agencies. I haven't had anybody like say anything to me, but like I've noticed it. Like I look at everybody who follows me on Instagram. I'm just like, oh, who is this person? And I've noticed like I've gotten a couple like just talent agency media franchises like for the Reno area, Northern Nevada, starting to follow me, and I'm like, I don't think I'm that big yet, but I'll take the follow. But what was the last one I saw? Dr. Pepper. They did one. There was that woman on TikTok. She did their newest jingle for their commercials. And she had just went on to TikTok and made a silly video going, Dr. Pepper, baby, good and nice, do do do. Everybody's tagged Dr. Pepper, and because everybody tagged Dr. Pepper, they picked her up, and she's now doing their theme. And there's a couple others that I've just watched that kind of thing happen too. So like, yeah, if we need to do that, Chantel, you just let us know. We'll totally like, we'll make Squarespace notice you. Yeah, I totally get that one. That's something I think would be super cool. Like I been on my to-do list of like figuring out like how he picks his artists, because like I thought there's a couple times where I'm like, oh, I could come up with something so freaking cool for this. I have such a cool idea. And so I've been meaning to like look in there. I don't want to ask him because I feel like that I don't want to seem desperate, but I'm like, it would be cool if like I ended up getting an invitation one day. The only thing I'm ever worried about with it is like some of my paintings take me a long time. Like this one was 46 hours, I think. Was it 46? Yeah, 46 hours. And so after today I'll be at 49 hours. 149 hours for this painting, and like that's the only thing I think would hold me back with stuff like that. Like with his art battles, is cuz they just take so much time. Oof. Yeah. There are some brands though that like they're a little bit more open. I think like what was one that was a little bit more like lenient? I can't remember. There was an art company that was a little bit more lenient with that, and they just wanted to support artists. The way that they go about it is they look at if multiple like YouTubers, art YouTubers, are using their product. Or was it Artex? I think it was Artex. Maybe it could have been Artex. The way that they were going about it is they weren't necessarily just looking at how well the videos perform, but they were also trying to branch out and boost not just the smaller creators, but the bigger creators so that their brand becomes a little bit more recognizable. Or was it Ohuhu? I think it may have been Ohuhu a few years back was doing that. Like this would have been 2022, 2023. I actually really enjoy working on these super long paintings. Like afterwards, I feel so good when the painting is done. I have heard that about Uhuhu. The only thing is like I really struggle with markers. I really struggle with them. So many different markers just give me such bad heebie-jeebies. This is the way they squeak when they're going across the paper. Ugh. I don't like them at all. Just thinking about it is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Although I haven't really used very many of Uhuhus, and these ones are old. Tried my best with these, but I got these. Is there a date on them? Is that for 2022? I know I got these like shortly after they started getting bigger. I think it was 2022. May have been 2021. And most of those markers are still pretty juicy because I just don't use them that often. But I have not tried their acrylic markers, and I am curious about those. Oh, you sent it with Posca? I haven't seen Posca really sponsor anybody. I don't even think like back when Posca first came out, I don't think they were sponsoring anybody. But I do see them doing giveaways all the time. Especially on Instagram, I see them constantly doing giveaways. All right, I only have a few more minutes left before I am going to have to log off. I need to get dinner started. For those wondering, it is 5 p.m. for me, which is 1700 hours. Yeah, I know. If I wish I could keep going at this, but I'll have to finish Cinderace next time. Gotta get dinner going. And then get back to packing so we can move. Oh, Daniel Smith? That would be cool. And yeah, I'm going to keep that in mind, Chantel. Did you reach out to like Artex and Ahuhu first, or did they reach out to you? And how did they reach out to you? Did my phone just die? No. Okay. It's red, but it's not dead yet. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, though, that probably did to just send your email to junk. Because that may have required them to download a file. In a lot of places, just you're not allowed to download files because it's too easy to get hacked nowadays. Oh, so they offered you. Did they reach out to like, did you have an email in your bio? Or did they like reach out through YouTube? Yeah, and I already have my next paintings picked out too for the when this one's done and mailed off. I've got 34 paintings that are considered works in progress that went abandoned. And it's going to take some time to work through them all. And I think my next one is going to be the Victorian house I've been working on for like the last 2 years that kind of got abandoned. It's supposed to be a Doctor Who painting. And then after that, I'm going to be working on my Medusa painting. So I already got like the next couple paintings picked out too. And I even have some more Pokemon paintings that have also just sat there. They're sketched out and ready to be painted, just haven't been. So yeah, I've got plenty. But I am excited for the Doctor Who one because that one's almost done. I just abandoned it and it was almost done. Being silly and getting started on other projects. I am going to finish placing this red and then I will take off. Yeah, I love Doctor Who. I haven't watched it in a minute. Just haven't had the time, but yeah, I love Doctor Who. David Tennant is my favorite Doctor. And then Colin Baker is like another one. And I think I like Colin Baker so much just because I'm sympathetic to what he went through in his time on Doctor Who. He was the sixth Doctor in the 80s. He was the Doctor when I was born. And then I also really like Peter Capaldi. I thought he was a really good Doctor. Matt Smith, too. I thought he was pretty good. I am forgetting... Oh, what's her name? Because I really enjoyed her. But yeah, I enjoyed Doctor Who a lot. I had a big Doctor Who phase. The great thing about Doctor Who is like with Pokemon, I can literally make the setting anywhere and it will make sense because he can travel anywhere. I just got to make sure the TARDIS is there. So like I did a Victorian style house from my neck of the woods. It's been abandoned. It is definitely looking more like Cinderace now. We got his thighs looking about right. All right. Well, this means that I've got to finish up. So, I appreciate everybody for joining. I really enjoyed talking with you all. Painting is coming along great. I will show you the next painting. Give me a second. So this is the one I will be working on next. Just don't put it on wet paint. So you can see I got a lot of the painting done. This old Victorian house. I just got to get basically the garden in the front done and the TARDIS and the Weeping Angel placed in. And then this one will be done too. So yeah, I'm excited. This will be my next one. It's been sitting there for a couple years. I hope everybody has a wonderful night or morning, afternoon, whatever time of day it may be. Fish fingers and custard, that could be a good one. A good little Easter egg to put in too. But anyways, I need to get dinner started. So I appreciate everybody being here. Be safe out there. Don't get lost. Don't get stolen. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye, you beautiful people.